So first we are going to discuss about lactose. So lactose is most widely used diluent for tablet. This is the most widely used diluent for tablet formulation. It is obtained in hydrous and anhydrous form both. The anhydrous form picks up moisture when exposed to elevated humidity, because it is anhydrous in nature. So it will pick up the moisture, it will pick up the water very frequently, and such tablets should be packed in moisture proof packets or container. So we have to take care about the packaging in such cases when we are using the anhydrous lactose. So when a wet granulation method is employed, the hydrous form of lactose should generally be used. So two grades of lactose are commonly available. First is 60 to 80 mesh coarse, we call it coarse, and 80 to 100 mesh, it is the regular grade. So advantages: it has no reaction with most of the drugs, whether in hydrous or anhydrous form, and lactose formulations show good release rate. Their granulations are readily dried, and the tablet disintegration times of lactose tablets are not strongly sensitive to variation in tablet hardness. Okay. It means what? It means that the granulation are readily, when we, as I told you that before preparing the tablet, we have to make granules of the active ingredient and excipient. So in that case, when we are using lactose, so the granulations are readily dried, and the tablet's disintegration time, like when we are using lactose in the tablet, the disintegration time of the tablet is not sensitive to the variation in the tablet hardness. Even if the tablet hardness is more, it will not affect the disintegration of the tablet. How much hard is the tablet? The tablet will eventually disintegrate in the water or the gastric mucosa as soon as the patient swallows it. And it is low cost diluent. So it is the cheapest one and widely used and widely available. Disadvantages: it reacts with amine drug bases if the drug has amine group in its formula or in its chemical formula, and in presence of alkaline lubricants, because sometimes we have to use some metal stearate like magnesium stearate are used as a lubricant. What are lubricants we will discuss later, but here I must tell you that lubricants are some powder which are used along with granules to facilitate their flow through the hopper when they go to the tablet punch. So that's why they are used for the proper flow of the granules. But lactose interact with magnesium stearate, and gradually what happens? It discolors with time due to formation of furaldehyde. So eventually lactose will interact with magnesium stearate and forms furaldehyde, and this reaction is called Maillard reaction. Okay, so we talk about here spray. In the last slide we discussed about anhydrous and hydrous form of lactose. Here we are talking about spray dried lactose. So the spray dried lactose advantages are: it is used for direct compression, containing drug plus diluent plus disintegrant plus the lubricant. So it is used for the direct compressed tablet. In addition to the direct compression properties, spray dried lactose also has good flow characteristics. So in that case we don't need any lubricant, as I told you in the previous slide. So it removes the requirement of lubricant, and it can usually be combined with as much as 20 to 25% of active ingredient without losing these advantageous features. So 20 to 25% of active ingredients can also be accommodated with spray dried lactose. Disadvantages: if spray dried lactose is allowed to dry out and moisture content falls below the usual 3% level, the material loses some of its direct compression characteristics. Right. So that means when we are using spray dried lactose, we need to have humidifier in the manufacturing unit. Otherwise, what happens? Usually the 3% moisture level is maintained in the manufacturing area, which is good for spray dried lactose and also with other tablet ingredients as well. So if the moisture content falls below 3% level, it will lose its properties. Straight diet lactose is especially prone to darkening in the presence of excess moisture, amines and other compounds owing to Maillard reaction. So hence a neutral or acid lubricant should be used. Right? Next slide. Calcium salts. So here we will discuss about few calcium salts. First one is DCP, which is mostly used with the name of DCP. It is dibasic calcium phosphate dihydrate, or it is also known as dicalcium orthophosphate, and formula is CaHPO4 2H2. TCP, tricalcium phosphate, formula is Ca3PO4 2, and calcium sulfate dihydrate CaSO4 2H2O. Advantages: diluent that exist in their common salt form as hydrates. So they are usually available as hydrate itself, and containing appreciable bound water as water of crystallization. So this is water of crystallization. It is it is available as such, and this bound water of calcium sulfate is not released below 80 degree. Even at the 80 degree temperature, this 2H2O will not be released from the calcium salt. So they possess very low concentration of unbound moisture. So this is bound moisture, and we are talking about unbound moisture. They don't have any unbound moisture. Everything is in the dihydrate form, and this bound moisture also do not get released even if temperature is around 80 degree. And these salts are excellent diluent for water sensitive drug, and it is superior to anhydrous diluent which has moderate to high moisture demand. So this is the advantage. What is the disadvantage? Tetracycline products made with calcium phosphate diluent had less than half the bioavailability of the standard product. If tetracycline tablets are prepared with calcium phosphate diluent, so the bioavailability is like reduced to half itself. Divalent cation calcium form insoluble complex in salts with number of amphoteric and acidic functional antibiotics, which generally reduce their absorption, which is why milk should not be co-administered with these drugs. So tetracycline is a very most common example wherein we used to understand that how calcium phosphate is not used with such kind of antibiotics, right? With acidic functional group, if the drug molecule has acidic functional group, so we should not use this kind of diluents. Okay. Next one is starch, and starch can be obtained from corn, wheat or potato, and rice. It is occasionally used as a tablet diluent, and USP grade of starch is usually possess moisture content between 11 to 14% of moisture is available in these starch, and especially dried types of starch that have a standard moisture level of 2 to 4% are available, but they are costly. And use of such starches in wet granulation is wasteful, since their moisture level increases to 6 to 8% following moisture exposure. So during the wet granulation, they absorb a lot of moisture, and then they can degrade the tablet formulation even before the compression of the tablet. And directly compressible starches, Starex 1500, it is free flowing directly compressible starch. It is used as diluent, binder, disintegrant. Amdex and Salutab, and these are two hydrolyzed starches, and they contain dextrose 90 to 90% and maltose 3 to 5%. These are also free flowing, directly compressible, and may be used in place of or mannitol in chewable tablet because of their sweetness and smooth feeling in the mouth. So along with the diluent property, they also have other properties as well. Now talking about diluent, one more, mannitol, it has advantages because it has negative heat of solution, that is, it gives a cooling sensation in the mouth, and it has slow solubility, and it is pleasant. It has pleasant feeling in the mouth, and it is widely used in the chewable tablet. And these are relatively non-hygroscopic. Non-hygroscopic means what? Hygroscopic means that they absorb moisture, and if they are non-hygroscopic, that means they do not absorb moisture, and therefore they can be used in the vitamin formulation. They have low calorie content and non-carcinogenic. Disadvantages: they are costly and has poor flow characteristics, and usually require fairly high lubricant level. Sorbitol, it is an optical isomer of mannitol and is sometimes combined with mannitol in formulation to reduce the diluent cost. Disadvantages: it is hygroscopic and humidity is above 65%. So, okay, next slide. Sucrose, dextrose, dextrose is what it is. Dextrose is actually D-glucose, D form of the glucose, and it is available in two forms, as hydrates and anhydrous form. And it may be sometimes combined with formulation to replace some of the spray-dried lactose, as we have discussed in earlier slide, and which may reduce the tendency of the resulting tablets to darken. Microcrystalline cellulose, which is commonly known as MCC, and trade name is Avicel, and is a directly compression material. Two grades are available: pH 101 powdered, pH 102, and granules. Advantages: it acts as diluent and disintegrating agent both. So in this part 2 we are going to discuss only the diluents. In the part 3 we will be discuss further excipients. Thank you.